Wizkid dropped the EP S2. This was a surprise, but it was something I'm glad he dropped. He has not
Mhm.
dropped since that album More Love Less Ego in 2022. And to hear these type of songs, I was excited for it. But what did you think about it?
I liked it a lot, I heard I don't know which song was the one that had it had an Asha K vibe to it. It had a I'm a piano vibe to it, bro. But that was probably
Olufe,
the one.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was probably the one I started with. And I would just like to say I think this year is gonna be one of them years with a lot of EPs coming. Like I prefer EPs, little short albums that you can get through. And I feel like they have more replay value. Like it's definitely easier to get through something that's like 4 to 8 songs, 4 to 9 songs than sitting there trying to go through a 27 song album, 25 song album. And I really appreciated what I heard from it. Also, the I'm a piano wave is still going, bro. Like I think it's gonna be as big as you've been saying, but I think I just need to get hip to it. Need to get there.
I think, you know, being a amateur D-level DJ as of
Mhm.
myself, I've been starting to play around with, like now that I'm at the point where I could blend pretty cool, I'm like, "Okay, Imma start getting acapellas of people and putting them over instrumentals or over some of my beats that over some beats that I fuck with just to practice and see how it goes." And after hearing these drops, like this Wizkid drop and the Burna Boy drop we're gonna get into, I do think that the sound is gonna take over. It's gonna be a trend, like a Jersey club trend or almost. They're not
Yeah.
the same thing, but it's like you're gonna see artists trying to jump on that shit. And I think Wizkid, he did that on More Love, Less Ego, and he did that
Mhm.
again on this project. You know what I'm saying? It was 4 songs. There were 2 features on it. You had Wande Cole and Zlatan. I keep hearing Zlatan is like he's like I don't wanna say he's ESTG, but he's ESTG-esque, like, he's roadman, street man rap, you know what I'm saying? You know?
Nah,
I'm
he's
trying to give
he's fire,
comparisons for our
bro.
people at home.
He's fire, bro.
He is, but, it was a solid little 4 songs, you know what I'm saying? I think at this point, I agree with you. I think we don't need long projects in 2024. Um,
Yeah.
we need EPs.
Yeah, I think there would be more quality music coming out of EPs. Like even what's that? Not the Jay-Z album, 444, sorry. I feel like that's even quote unquote an EP. It's like a shorter album, but that's one of Jay-Z's best albums ever. Like, and I feel like once you can sit there and what? What?
What's the so no, 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 go ahead, go ahead. Imma let you finish. It's nothing against what you're saying, but
Oh, okay. I was yeah, you made me forget. I just feel like when you can sit there and just focus on making those 8 songs really quality instead of trying to give a big lot of music, it always comes out. Not always, but it can come out to be better. Like I feel like a person who does that, who's actually on my whenever we do the EPs, the year list, Code of the Friend does really short albums, and I really appreciate that from him because I feel like you can sit there and get a lot of replay value out of each song. But
what is the difference between an EP and an what's the difference between an EP and a mixtape and an album to you, and what do you think it should be? Because to me, when I ask that question, I just think, what I think the difference between an EP and an album should be is not how other people look at it, but how do you look at it? Like, what's the difference? Is it just the length?
I think it's for me, it's mainly length because I feel like content wise, they can be the same. I feel like mixtape and EP are closer than EP and album personally, but I mostly think it's like I feel like an album, I would quantify it probably as like maybe 12, 13 songs and up. And anything below that, I would consider either probably mixtape or EP. EP is probably on the shorter side of that, but yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. It's kind of hard for me to
I agree with
quantify it,
you.
I guess.
I no, 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 I agree with you. I think that that is what it has become, but I think when I started, like so I got a record in the Secret Santa. I got, To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar, and
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
that's a album. That's a
Yeah.
album." You know what I'm saying? And I think cohesively now, it's like, y like, would you print it up on a piece of vinyl and this sound like one project?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, cohesively, does it sound like an album or is it a collection of songs? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it can like, when you said Jay-Z's 444 was an it's basically an EP. In length, I would agree with you, but in terms of cohesion of the project, it sounds like a project top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? So I would call that an album if he wants to call it an album because it's a body of work. Whereas I feel like most artists are, like you said, just making songs, and it's like, do they have enough for an EP and an album? Is it enough songs to look like an album? So I'm calling it an album, or like, what is it? So I think that's how I would like people to think of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wouldn't buy your project as a vinyl, it's not an album. Just call it a mixtape or an EP or something. Like,
I could see that, I could see that, because even, like, something like a Magic by Nas, I feel like that could be considered a EP by length, but honestly, it has a lot of cohesion and a lot of flow to it to where it's an album, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Who knows? I mean, we don't print albums yet. We don't print albums yet, but it has nothing to do with us at this point. Anyway, the next song that came out that I wanted you to talk about briefly was the Do I remix. This is by Phyno featuring Burna Boy. Apparently, they're like frequent collaborators. They're good friends. Um,
Mhm,
Coming off of the I'm a Piano sound we were talking about Wizkid, like Burna Boy released this like 4 or 5 days ago. It didn't release on Friday, it was before that. So, like, hearing that and then this and just where I've been at with I'm a Piano, what I was trying to get at earlier is I think that the production sound that I'm a Piano provides, like, it's so contradictory to what's going on in popular music today. Like, I feel
mhm.
like in music today is very, like, short, like TikTok-esque, like to the point, like trying to get the moment 10 to 15 seconds. Whereas on my piano, just the actual sonics and the house music, the songs vary from like 5 to 7 minutes long usually. And it's not crazy to find on my piano tracks that are 9, 10, 11 minutes long. And I want you to go check out have you seen the on my piano balcony remixes on YouTube? I need
Mm-mm.
you to go watch one, like, on a random, like, you just chilling, bro. It's these 2 the major league DJs, I mentioned them on here, where they go to a house, they invite, like, 10 well, it started with them inviting, like, 10, 15, 20 people. They bring their DJ set, they have a nigga cooking in the kitchen, and they have 1 camera on them and then 1 camera showing the entire vibe of the apartment. And it was, like, them transitioning between on my piano songs, and they'd occasionally throw some rap in there. Like, it started getting crazy during the pandemic, and it blew up, and to the point where they were doing, like, festivals, they were doing, like, mansion parties, like, backyard shits, like, crazy stuff going on, and it just showed, like, the vocals over it, you can sort of interchange, where it's like they have, like, the singers going in and out, in and out. Sometimes they throw a rapper in there, like
Mhm.
a somebody from South Africa, just a quick verse, and then they come out, and I'm like, "Why can't Americans or, like, English speakers do more of this?" You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, it's it's a different sound that, like, once you get house music, you really, really fuck with it, and I just think that, like, rappers trying different types of stuff, like, we see rappers, like, work with Kaytranada, you know what I'm saying, and we always talk about how that works. I just think there's something to the pocket that would attract a lot of attention with the way that music is going today, and these 2 artists, the 2 biggest artists in Africa, debatably, getting on my piano style track, I think it just says a lot about where it's going just because Asake has been doing this, Davido did it, Benson did it. A lot of people have done it, but these are the 2 biggest artists, and they continue to talk about the sound and get on it.
I think rap and just, like, black music has to figure that out in general because I feel like EDM, like, the white side of, like, the house music and the electronic dance music, I feel like they've kinda figured it out. There's still artists like Fred again and different DJs who are out there doing stuff where it's break beats and sitting there going from song to song, you having a bunch of different types of artists. Like, I just saw Fred again released a song with Baby Keem, and that was one I wasn't
I saw
expecting,
that.
like yeah, like, something like that, I feel like a lot of the artists, at least the artistic ones, the ones who aren't gonna try to stick to the wave rap is in right now, I feel like they will try to hop on some of this amapiano stuff. I feel like, especially when, it starts to become a more American thing not a more American thing, but when more American artists, when they see a bigger artist, I feel like hop on it. I think, the first one to really try it besides Drake, you got Chris Brown doing different little stuff with it, but I think once more artists do it, it'll become that wave, like you were
Chris
saying, like a
Brown would be
Jersey
the one to
Club
do it.
or
Chris
yeah.
Yeah, Chris Brown would be the one to do it. I mean, he's done 2 or 3 collaborations with Loj already, and
Mhm.
Loj does those all the time. That would be so cold. But it's dope to see, like, thinking back to when I caught wind of Afrobeat, like, I caught wind of it through the production side.
Mhm.
Like, Like, learning about that product how the Afrobeat structure is similar to, like, the dancehall structure, which is similar to the reggaeton structure. It's interesting to that's how you catch it, and then the wave happened. I wonder, like, how long this has sort of been, like, a potential, like, thing. Because Fred again is a good example of, like, a DJ in the EDM producer world that's sort of working. Like, he's got a song with Central C coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
He's, like, collaborating with everybody.
Yeah, he's super big, I mean,
Uh,
especially over there in Europe, but he's gonna be one of those for sure.
Speaking of Central C, yo, I'm the transition king. Who else? Who else? But Central C put out a single called Entrepreneur, and I want to say it somebody quoted the video and said, "This is giving up and comer street rapper vibes." And I laughed because it did give that. But I love the song. I really like the song, and I will say he is the best at curating a brand and sticking to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, his brand is technically him. Like, today he released some T-shirts and he posted like, in the song, you know, "The trap's still running on Christmas Day." Nigga selling shit on he, like, worked the whole campaign around that, and that's what the Entrepreneur video is like, it's him boxing up the shit to sell on Christmas Day. I don't know, and the production just sounds like it sounds enhanced. It sounds like him, but it just sounds enhanced and better, and his voice sounds great on the project on the single. I just like everything about this. I like everything about it. At first, I was gonna think it was corny, but then I'm like, "It's just fire, bro. It's just
Nah, he's
fire."
you could also just tell he's starting to get that money behind him for real, bro, like, besides what he was
Yeah.
already bringing in, but the money from the labels and stuff like that, and I'm excited for the whenever he drops a new project. I feel like 2024, he's definitely gonna have one by himself. Obviously, he had the one with Dave this year, but I think he's gonna start rolling out a couple of singles, but I don't know what quarter he would drop in. I don't know how big he is, like, at this moment, like, what quarter he would fit in.
I think I think it's probably gonna be 2. I think it's probably gonna be some summer shit, but that whole, like I don't get that, bro. Because it's like, he's not a 4th quarter artist, but if you're not a 4th quarter artist, just, like, fucking drop it. Like, it doesn't
I think it's like
you're not
a
SZA.
it's a sales thing though, bro, like, it's a business thing. If you sitting there and I don't even know what example I could give. If I'm Lil Uzi Vert and I know I could drop, and I'm big, but Taylor Swift is also gonna drop in this 4th quarter. Drake is also gonna drop in this 4th quarter. If I wanna give myself the best chance to have a clear runway, to make as much money as possible, give my project as much visibility as possible, I'm probably not going up against those really big artists, like those Adeles, those Ed Sheerans. Like, you don't wanna put yourself in that position, but I feel like in a few years, Central C will be there. Like, he'll be at that point. I think right now though, yeah, like 2nd quarter, maybe even a 3rd quarter type of thing. Like, I think he could definitely be in one of those for sure.
I don't I don't wanna have this conversation now, but at some point, I wanna talk about how do we gauge success of a project that's not first week? Because 'Cause I'm fucking tired of first week. I'm tired of it.
We can do that. I could definitely got some things to say about that.
Okay. Last song I wanted to get into because I wanna talk about I was like, I be thinking about it's the end of the year, so I just been thinking about the year as a whole, and AJ Tracey AJ Tracey is him to me, bro. AJ Tracey is him. He's like I don't know, there's those rappers that like the boogeyman to me where it's like you don't see them. They pop out and they just, drop some heat. Like, it's just heat, and then they just go back to chilling. AJ Tracey dropped Wifey Riddim 4. I assume this is a series. I haven't heard 3, 2, or 1 yet, but I'm gonna go back. But this song, bro, the production on here is so crazy. Like, this is AJ Tracey is so grime, bro. Like, a lot of the UK rappers that were in grime transitioned out because it's like there's only so much space for grime. Like, it's at a certain BPM, you gotta rap at a certain cadence. So a lot of them wanted to do other things to try and attract more audience. But it's like, bro, he don't give a fuck. Like, he just gonna be grind like, the grime beats, bro, like, Soul is one of the craziest rap songs I've heard in years. It was the freestyle he did on the Radar. That
Mm.
shit was crazy, bro, and I just think he's so lyrically talented, and I hope this next project, like, people really pay attention because he's so fire to me.
Yeah, I think as soon as Americans catch up to stuff like this, it's going for this sound to not be around. At least I know it's not as big as it used to be, but I feel like it's even like that with drill in New York and drill like that in Chicago. Like it has its own pockets, its own niche, but it's still fire regardless. And I definitely like this song. I think it sounded real good.
It was fire, bro. Shout out AJ Tracey. The video was real nice too. It was, like, kinda cinematic, like, you should go check that out.
Okay,
But,
I will do.
you had one more, is this a single or an album? What you got for us? What is this?
It's actually an EP, but Saliendo de Planeta. This was an artist I had not heard of. His name is Saiko. He dropped a little it was like I said, an EP. He was actually supposed to drop a song every day from December 15th to the 22nd, until he dropped this, but he had a little like medical trouble, so couldn't do that. But I just wanted to mention this because I feel like every single week I'm getting a new reggaeton artist. Like I find somebody new that I haven't heard of. Like the past at least month, 2 months, 3 months, I've been finding a new artist that's new to me. Maybe he's not new to a lot of you guys who've been listening to reggaeton, but I feel like I'm seeing all these new artists and it kind of feels like almost like 2016, 2017 rap to me. Like it's like you're getting all these different like different types of artists, different types of musicians in this lane. And I definitely heard this project. I liked it. He had a song on there with Yandel that I really fucked with. But I would say go check this out. This is definitely something that I'm gonna be bumping, giving more of a listen to, and I'm gonna be checking this guy out because I liked what I heard from him.
Okay, bet. Imma check that out. Imma check that out after this. I've never heard of this guy, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I hope I said his
Um,
name right. Psycho, Saiko, something in there.
I think they appreciate the effort, bro. Whenever somebody sees it, they appreciate the effort.